to Proudly Asian, a podcast series that tells bold and proud stories of Asians by Asians. I'm Isabel Wong, a financial journalist who wants to uncover the many Asian stories around us that are waiting to be told. There's never just one way to look at Asians. This podcast will take you through a deep dive into the life stories, struggles, and triumphs of young Asians around the world. On today's episode, we have Kyle Yu, a Paris-based writer who was born and raised in Hong Kong. Growing up as a gay man in Asia, Kyle speaks to us about his coming out experience, common misconceptions about the LGBTQ plus community, and what it means to be proudly gay. Welcome to Proudly Asian, Kyle.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyle. I'm a Hong Konger. When I was in Hong Kong, I was a lifestyle editor. And then I have lived in multiple cities like in Hong Kong and in UK before. And now I'm currently living in Paris. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, so excited to get to know more about you during the episode. Now, to kick off the conversation, I'm going to start off with a question that I ask every single guest on the podcast, which is, tell us about your background. Who are you? What are you? And where did you grow up?
As you know, I'm a Hong Konger. I want to say like I'm one of the millennial. And who I am. I love traveling. That's why I have lived in multiple cities. And then I think who I am is a strange question to answer about it, isn't it? Because I don't like labeling myself, so I'm hardly to put myself into a category of who I am actually.
Yeah, that's fair, because actually during the closing remark of our previous season, I also had a one-on-one chat with our listeners, and then I was also kind of touching on the idea of like labeling, like because it's not very practical to like box someone into one single label, right? Because people's experiences will grow and they also meet different people. They also continue to gather more like experiences over time, and then they grow as a person, and then who they are today could be completely different in the near future. But it was great to start off the chat to get to know, where you're from and where you grew up. But I know now you are based in Paris. Can you tell us about how did you decide to move there?
I actually can fall back to 2015. And at that time, I under the Young Mobility Scheme, I'm working in UK. And at that year, I met my partner, and which is also my partner now. And then we have been living together for a year in Liverpool. And then after my visa end, I decided to move back to Hong Kong. And then around 2017, and then my partner, he was visiting in Hong Kong, and then he just told me that he will be moving to Paris to work. And then he asked me would I like to join him as well. And then, I said yes. After some preparation, and then 2019, and then I moved to Paris. Yeah, that's the story.
And, how's living in Paris? Is it as romantic as people would imagine? Or is it like Emily in Paris on Netflix?
I think being a tourist or you are literally living in Paris is slightly different, or it could be totally different. Because when you're located in Paris, there is some officially document or some procedure you have to go through to as a resident in Paris. So it could be bureaucratic and it could be very clumsy to tackle it. So that's the case, yeah.
I see, yeah, I've heard that's definitely the unromantic side about living in Paris, because I do hear from my friends about their experiences living in Paris. Things do take a bit of time. You have to reserve a lot of time when you decide to go to the bank even.
Yeah.
But, as mentioned, this episode is going to be released during Pride Month. Our conversation is going to take a deeper dive into your experience as a gay man and your thoughts around common biases about the LGBTQ plus community. So to kick things off, I want to first get to know about your experience. What was it like growing up as a gay boy in Hong Kong?
If I use an adjective to describe how I growing up as a gay boy in Hong Kong, the adjective would be awkward. Because when I was younger and then like when I was still in secondary school, there is no such a role model to teach you or educate you how you become a gay or how their relationship among each other or how they find love. So all of the things you have to search by yourself or you have to explore by yourself. But because there is no drama, no television or anything at all to like teach you or to guide you how you become a gay guy. And then like we have go through our puberty and then it could be quite scary because like when you were gay, you deep down you know you are gay and then like you are unlike the majority. Like, you know that your lifestyle or your mindset is a little bit different to the others or different to your classmates, to your friends. So it's quite difficult, I think, for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And along the way, did you find any friends or like people around you who understood you about your sexual orientation, or was the experience kind of lonely in a way? Because like, I do know with the lack of understanding about what being gay means, like people could potentially call you names such as like describing you as like being overly girlish. How was the experience? Did you have friends who were supportive along the way?
I think I'm quite lucky because like when I was in secondary school, like I'm a friend of like a girlfriends that are like just the only boy within a girlfriends, but they don't mind or they don't care about like I'm a boy or they are girls. Even because like you know in Hong Kong the secondary school, like the girls like they like to go toilets together and they like to do anything together. Like I think except the toilet part, just like I go just like do everything with them. So like they are quite welcoming. And because like I don't feel like that. Because like my relationship between me and my family, we are not very close. We are a little bit distant. So I think my friends, they are really good for me, like as supportive when I was like in the period of like when I was in puberty. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, like you mentioned, like many people would consider you really lucky, like having friends who like understand you and who are supportive of you. But of course, Asia is still generally perceived as a place where people are quite close-minded about accepting LGBTQ plus and same-sex marriage. As a gay person who was born and raised in Hong Kong and you have lived in multiple cities by now, do you agree that Asia is actually relatively more close-minded about this matter?
It's not an easy question to answer because I think sometimes it depends on personal experience. Like for me, I think it's not that tough for me because like I'm very open-minded. And then I think the people around me, they are quite accept who I am and they are not that homophobia maybe. But like in some cases, Hong Kong could be less accepted because like for example like there is same-sex marriage in different kind of countries like in European countries or in American, but it's not legalized in Hong Kong, so it's a little bit sad we are not allowed to get married in Hong Kong, something like that.
Yeah, I definitely know this is kind of a fight that's still ongoing in a lot of countries in Asia. But personally, have you gotten any questions and uninvited comments regarding your sexual orientation growing up?
Yeah, indeed. For example, like especially in secondary school, I think if there is you are easily get bullied because if you are a little bit outsider or they will consider you as a loser, something like that. Like I remember that like someone has asked me, are you that sissy or like are you just taking advantage of like being around of a bunch of girls? But that's not the case. But like we are totally different. I'm not that masculine. I'm a bit feminine. That's it. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think over time the understanding about gay people, let's say in Hong Kong, also improved, or would you say unfortunately it hasn't improved much?
I think I could tell it's a little bit improved than older ages. Because like because I think it's the society is changing. Like the environment is changing. Like we have more like drama to like have more gay storyline or more gay perspective. So I think it changed a little bit nowadays, I think.
That's right. Yeah. I remember maybe a couple of years ago there was this Hong Kong drama about gay relationships or like gay men. I'm not sure if you've watched that TV show, but
Yeah.
like how did that make you feel when you saw gay men on like mainstream television?
It depends. Like, for example, nowadays, like in Netflix, there are some cute show or like there is a newly show it called Heartstopper. I don't know if you heard about it. It's quite good. Like the main character, they are still in high school in UK, and then like they are go through some changes of being a youngster, and like they fall in love for each other. It's quite cute. I think we definitely need some drama like this, like for the young people to know how to become a gay, or like how they embracing who they are actually.
Yeah, I think definitely it's very important for like all sorts of people, you know, with different sexual orientation or with different identities to be able to see themselves on popular culture or like mainstream television, because as same-sex marriage becomes more common, there would be also like same-sex parenthood, right? I think it's also very important for the kids who have same-sex parents to be able to see actually having two dads or having two mothers is something that's completely common. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But now moving on, I would like to dive deeper into your experience as a gay man, because when we were chatting before the recording, I know that you did come out to your family and friends. I just want to know if you could share with us your coming out experience.
I would like to share one of my coming out experience, is with my mom. And then like I remember when I was 18 years old, then at that time, then I had a boyfriend, and then he did send me some love letter to me. And then like when I was younger, and then my sister, she's quite nasty to me, I think. And then like she just like sneakily read my love letter, and then like she just show my mom. And then
Wow.
I think like deep down, my mom, she realized that I'm gay. I'm not a straight. But like, I think like in Hong Kong society, we didn't put that matter into the table. Like maybe we will know that, but we won't discuss it. My sister, she did show that letter to my mom, and then like it become an issue. I remember like one night, and then my mom just talked about it, and then like I think I don't have any choice, and I just say that, oh, yeah, it's my boyfriend, and then like that's it, something like that. Like my mom, she did tell me that, oh, it would be a tough road, and then like it's a tough pathway for you to choose, and then maybe you have to think about that, or maybe it's something like that. But I just told them, that's your instinct, you can't change it, that's it. Yeah, I think it's not. Yeah.
And at that particular moment, did you feel sad? Did you feel nervous? Did you feel angry? Because, I mean, the circumstances was that the letter was kind of taken by your sister, and then you were sort of forced to come out. Like, how did you feel?
For me, my relationship between me and my family, we are not very close. And then like when I was teenager, I'm quite rebellious. So I don't want to like obey their rule. And that means it's not a very tough moment for me. Yeah. I think they can foresee as in a day I will like do something like this. Like, yeah.
And at that moment, like was your mom trying to be like understanding, or was she also a bit angry? Because just now you're describing how like she was telling you that, okay, it's going to be a very challenging path ahead. Was she coming from a place of trying to be understanding?
I think she is a little bit sad because I'm the oldest son in my family. Maybe she want to like have a straight son, to have grandson, something like that. But I'm not what they expect to be as a son. Yeah, so I think she used to be disappointed, maybe. Yeah.
But now she probably has come to accepting because you're happy, you're enjoying your life, right?
It could be. I think if like for me, I think if we need to get closer, or like we still have conversation, then you have to compromise. You need to accept who I am. Yeah.
I see. But yeah, unfortunately, not every gay person can openly acknowledge or embrace their sexual orientation still to these days, because social stigma is still a consideration for many, especially in Asia. So would you have any advice for those who are feeling anxious about their sexual orientation and wondering if they could come out to their family and friends?
Actually, it does take time, to be honest. Like, for example, like if you're in an early stage to like discovering who you are, it could be quite scary or anxious to come out to your friends and family. So I think, yeah, it does take courage, I think, but I won't say something like to push them to come out, because I think it's not necessary. In case you need to make some decision in your lifetime, like you have to get married with your partner, something like that. And then I think like your friends or your family, if they are really understand you, and then they won't judge you. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think definitely that advice is not just for, gay people who are thinking about coming out, but it's also for the friends and family of gay people, like just do not make their gay friends or loved ones to feel bad about their sexual orientation. And I think personally, from my experience, I also happen to have a few gay friends in my friend circle. And I remember there was this friend, I think within the friend circle, we kind of knew that he was gay, but then he never mentioned the fact that he was gay. And then, like we all just kind of chose to be respectful. We all just thought that maybe he was not ready to talk about like his sexual orientation among friends. And then I think after 2 years hanging out as friends, I think in like kind of like a one-on-one chat with him, he finally didn't really make a like grand announcement like, oh, I'm gay. But then he just like casually said, oh, like I have a boyfriend. And then I was like, oh, okay, he's ready to talk about him being gay and his relationship. And I think at that moment I felt quite happy, because I was like, okay, maybe I could finally be a friend who could support him on, his relationship problems or like his journey, thinking about coming out. So yeah, we're still kind of like keeping in touch. He would still occasionally tell me that he's still thinking about coming out to his parents. But then I think your advice just now is very valid, because like it's not as simple as telling them to just go for it or like have the courage and just don't care, tell people that you're gay, because like there's a lot of like considerations around the implications of like what their relationship is going to be like with their family after they come out. So yeah, I'm definitely still learning. But the next question is, I'm just wondering if you also have any like suggestions or advice for like outsiders, family and friends, on how they could better support their loved ones and their friends who are gay.
I think my advice is it could be like treat them just like as a normal person, because like I think it's just a sexual orientation. It doesn't change who you are or your personality or how your dynamic between you and your friends. So just treat them like as a normal person.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. And would you say the experience of being gay as an Asian is completely different from a Caucasian or non-Asian gay person? Because the context is in traditional family values in Asia, like any Asian families, right? Gender preference is prominent. And as you mentioned, you also said you were the eldest son in your family. They had high expectations of you. Like boys are traditionally seen as more important than girls, because they are expected to sort of like extend the family name by inheriting the blood of the family. So yeah, would you say as a gay Asian, your personal experience is completely different than, let's say, your partner or like your Caucasian and non-Asian friends?
I think like for family, it could be harder, because like your parents, they expect the son to like be more dominant in the future in the family. So they will like place some over-demanding, they may be over-demanding, or they will place some expectation which is too high to meet. And then for me as well, I think. But like if in general, like in the society, in school, I think all gay are the same. Because like we have go through our puberty, we will like face maybe some bullying, something like this. So I think more or less it could be similar. Yeah. But I think like maybe growing up in Caucasian country maybe will be more accepting, because like I think people that they are more open mind, it could be, and like they are more concerned or about their own stuff. Maybe they will have fewer chance to criticize other people. I think they're more open mind. It could be.
What were some of the most annoying moments for you as a gay man in Hong Kong or anywhere? Like, did you have to maybe deal with like annoying relatives who might have opinions about your sexual orientation, or like friends of your mom? Like, what would be some of the annoying moments?
I remember like maybe 5 years ago, like I was like maybe in a party, and then some people have asked me like, "Oh, you are gay, so are you horny all the time? Like you like to have sex all the time, or like are you easy to caught AIDS, something like that?" That could be so ignorant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very disrespectful to ask. I mean, I'm assuming those were just like strangers in a party, right?
Yeah, they didn't know me at all, actually. Yeah.
Wow, that's really not nice. And in a way, it's already counted as kind of some sort of like verbal harassment. I mean, those questions are super disrespectful. But it brings me to ask, like, throughout the years, what are some of the common misconceptions about the LGBTQ plus community that you know of?
I have heard that like, is that all gay boy? Are they all CC, or are they all feminine? Something like that. Yeah, but it's not that. It's not the case, because like they're all gay, they are all male, and there are different kind of male. They could be masculine, or they could be feminine as well. So there's not a specific type of a gay person for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's one of the most common misconception about like, people would have a very fixed idea on like if they see a gay couple and if both of them are men, they usually would ask questions like, oh, are you the girl or are you the boy? But yeah, I think for relationships between like gay men, there isn't necessarily kind of like a female or male figure, right?
It could be, but I don't think it's not a must, I think. Because say if your certain orientation is like more dynamic, then it isn't necessary to have a girl side or boy side. I think this kind of dynamic just apply to the sex part for me. Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I've heard maybe from my lesbian friends that I think the most common questions they would usually get would be either from their family or their friends, like mostly from family members. It would be like, oh, you're just going through a phase, right? Like you like girls now, but eventually you're gonna marry a man. Is this also something that you've heard maybe LGBTQ plus community members or like lesbian friends who would also get?
Yeah, I think so. Like, for example, like when I was younger, my mom would tell me something like that. It's just a phrase. Then you will like finally meet a woman and then get married and have child, but it's not a phase.
Yeah.
It's very instinct. Yeah.
And in that case, do you think there's enough recognition and acknowledgement about the LGBTQ plus community? What more do you think can be done to improve the understanding?
It's hard to tell actually, because like, I didn't work for the community, to be honest. Like, but I think like, because like in Hong Kong, the LGBT plus community, they are quite independent and quite underground. But like, for example, because like I live in Europe like for 5 years now, like I can tell that like the European society, they are, well, like, for example, like I'm a gay boy in Paris, like, and then I can get more support in Europe. Like if I want to do some tests or I want to like check my sexual health, it could easily to approach them. But like in Hong Kong, it's quite difficult and they are quite underground. So I think maybe could be the government, but I don't know. Yeah.
So what you're describing there is like it's kind of a bit challenging for gay men or like LGBTQ plus community, let's say in Hong Kong, to access like healthcare services that would be catered to their needs, or like it would be kind of hard for them to just randomly go into a clinic without being looked at in a weird way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is the case actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's still something to be done, like in terms of like normalizing the conversation and like different sexual orientations in the society. But now it's time for us to move on to the next segment, which is called Rapid Bias. And in this segment, I'll be asking my guests biased questions they have got asked at some point in life. And also in Kyle's case, biased questions gay people get asked a lot. So, Kyle, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, first question. Are you the boy or the girl?
It's funny. Of course, I'm a boy. Can you tell?
Yes. It's like common sense.
Yeah.
And next question. Are all gay men very girlish?
No, not at all, actually. There are some gay boys, they tend to go to the gym, like they go to the gym every day and they are quite masculine. Yeah. It could be many kinds of gay guy, actually. Yeah.
I see. And next question. Being gay is a mental disorder.
Wow, this is so weird. I've never heard someone told me something like that before. Yeah, I think it's not.
Moving on to the next question. No one is born gay. You can decide to stop being gay, right?
Oh, sorry. I think you are born to be something, actually. Like, gay is... I think it's more than decision, actually. You're born to be like men or like girls. It's not a choice.
And moving on, would you like me? All gays just like any kind of boys, right?
No, not at all. Just like we have our preference or we have our taste. We don't like all boys. It's weird, this question, actually.
Yeah, and next question. Are you pretending to be gay so you can take advantage of girls?
Oh, I have heard this question before when I was still in secondary school. It could be quite hurtful because it's not the case. Because I don't have some hobbies like I don't play basketball or I don't play video games, and then I'm more fit into like the girl stuff. That's it. Yeah.
And finally, being gay means you're not allowed to be married, right?
It depends. Like maybe in Asian country, they are not allowed. But if you go to like America or you go to European countries, they are allowed. It depends.
Well, thank you for playing this round of Rapid Bias, Kyle.
Thank you.
And now, moving on to the conclusion of the episode, I just want to ask you one final question, Kyle. What does it mean to be proudly gay?
I think for me, being a proudly gay, just like you are not afraid to be yourself. You just like be authentic, be yourself. Like you're not afraid to tell who you are. That's my call, actually.
That's beautiful. And I gotta say, this concept or this courage could also be applied for, any sexual orientation, any identities, any ethnicity as well. So thank you so much for your beautiful words. And thank you so much for sharing your stories and experience generously, Kyle.
Yeah, it's my honor to share my experience, to the audience.
Thank you. That's it for this episode of Proudly Asian. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at proudly.asian for more content. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in and signing off for now. I'm Isabel Wong.